Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of Boston 25 Sports In Depth. Glad you could join us tonight as we wrap up the month of June. We have 4 stories for you tonight, plus a great update from last month, so stick with us for the next half hour. We're going to start with Kristen McDonnell. As the leader of girls basketball in Braintree, she's been one of the most successful high school coaches in New England. But after 10 years as a Womp, McDonnell recently left Braintree to join the Mustangs in Norwood, and also left the girls for the boys. Butch Stearns connected with Kristen to find out how this happened and why.
All right, ready? Everybody get 2 balls. Try to get 2 balls.
Kristen McDonnell's coaching philosophy is less about basketball and more about people.
Does that make sense? North-south, north-south.
It's all about the culture. You know, it's all about being a good teammate and kids wanting to come to practice and having a good time while they're there.
I think she cares so much about the players as people, and then she cares about them as players second. And so I just think that creates such a good culture where you're stressing the person, the teammate, and then the basketball comes.
And as the head girls coach at Braintree High, the basketball came at the highest level possible. 5 South Sectional titles, 4 state championships, and countless young minds molded, just like she's done with her day job for the same 10-year period in the guidance department at Norwood High School.
I've been there for 10 years as a guidance counselor, 7 as director.
What's special about Norwood?
I think the community feel, you know, and it's so similar to Braintree that way.
Kristen's been a really energetic, caring educator for us for a long time. During my first year as principal right now, she's been an extremely big help.
And as a new principal, Hugh Galligan wants to build his own culture at Norwood, and that includes a focus on athletics.
I really do believe, as the principal of the school, that a strong athletic program can help build a school's culture.
Which brings us to the Mustangs boys basketball team. Coming off a not-so-successful first season in the Tri-Valley League, after competing for years in the Bay State League, Norwood wanted a new head coach, and the search began and ended inside their own building.
You know, myself and the athletic director, John Longley, looked at each other and we really said, we've got the best basketball coach in the state sitting across the hallway in our guidance office. Let's see if we can make this happen.
They came in and kind of talked to me about the possibility, and it didn't sit well right away, to be honest. I felt like I was cheating on the girls' game to ever go over to the boys, and I try to be such a strong advocate. But that same person kept coming back to me and kept explaining that, you know, you could still be an advocate just in a different way. And so I just started feeling, you know, really good about it.
To us, it was an absolute no-brainer.
What's going to be the biggest difference coaching boys?
I think, you know, the tempo itself, you know, just kind of getting used to the pace of the game. I think that just in terms of, you know, boys are different than girls just personality-wise, right? So it's just making sure that, you know, all of our kind of egos are on the same page, that we're all like, we have one ego and it's not each person's ego, and it's the same thing we had to do with the girls when we started there 10 years ago.
It wasn't that much of a factor for us. Gender aside, as I said, we saw Coach McDonnell as the best basketball coach in the state for any team, and we feel very fortunate that she's now going to be on our team.
How about earning their respect? You're a woman coach, coaching young men.
And it's like any job you take, any new position you take, you earn it by what you do on the court and how you come across. You know, I think they're no different than anyone else. They have the same, you know, type of feelings. They want to do the best they possibly can. So I think my job as a coach, girls, boys, it doesn't matter, is to try to get them to reach that potential.
At Braintree, Kristen made her girls realize their potential, but also had a situation with parents that led her to quit as Womp's head coach, a decision she regretted right after it happened.
That decision never should have happened, and it never would have happened had I given it any wait time whatsoever.
After several months of anguish, Kristen asked for and eventually got her Braintree job back. But could that situation happen again in Norwood? What did you learn from that now, these years later? And is it going to be any different dealing with parents of boys than it is with parents of girls?
Yeah, I learned a lot from that. You know, I think what I used to say before was that if people had their thoughts about me on the court, I didn't care. I didn't really care, and I could separate that out from like them coming at me personally. And a couple of years ago, I got kind of stuck in that where if they were coming at me personally, I really took that to heart. And what I realized is that you really can't separate the two. You know, if for some reason someone's disappointed in you for something you've done on the court, a lot of times that's going to go hand in hand with what they might think about you at that time. And it's been a hard lesson for me, but you know, I think as long as I can stick to my guns and feel really good about where the team's at, and then I'm promoting the right stuff, then I'll be really, you know, proud of hopefully the job that I do.
Butch, I'm all for it, 100%. And I'll say this to any young man who's part of that Norwood basketball program: do not begin this relationship with any misogynistic thoughts, because your eyes are going to be open to how effective and how powerful a female coach can be in your forum, because one of the best coaches I ever had as a kid was a female who coached me playing basketball. And it opened my eyes to women in power and how effective they can be. Because if you think about it, you have teachers, you have your mom, but you so rarely have a female coaching you. And it's a very different dynamic and very powerful.
It's a great point. I mean, I think we've learned not to bet against her. Gender aside, she's a great coach. And she's a great coach because of what you heard at the beginning of that piece. She coaches people first and the players second. That said, I think it's going to be a little bit of an eye-opener for her going into the male-dominated world of boys' men's basketball. And I think she might get a little bit of a cold shoulder from some of the coaches, but she's got to win first. And she's got a long road to go there to build it up in Norwood. The interesting thing is, think about this, Tom. She knows people. She coaches people. She's been the head of guidance for 7 years, and in the guidance department at Norwood High School, she knows these kids. She knows their teachers. So I think a lot of people are wishing her well. Braintree's going to take their time to find someone to replace her. They're not real happy, and why would you be when you lose her?
Understandable. And what I liked is that she's got some tough skin. After what she went through in Braintree, I think she's realized that people are going to talk, and you just got to live with it when you're sitting in the spotlight like she is as a head coach.